that good?
Hello, and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Magic Stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with Back to School Wisconsin Badgers 2028-2029 season. Another hot start. Jeff, we've only lost one game, which is
One more than
pretty near
we
what we
lost
lost
last
all
year.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least until the playoffs.
exactly. Well, I mean, that's kind of a usual, normal thing for us.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding everyone of that. But yeah, we're currently ranked number 3 in the country because we've got that one loss behind RPI, who's the defending champion and are undefeated. They've only played 6 games. We played 12. And Bentley, who's won one more game than us and has also only lost one, is also ahead of us. So not quite on the top like we were last year, but we've got a 5-point lead on top of the Big Ten. And I think we can, you can see from the goal differential, we're, other than that one loss, which was to, who'd we lose that to again? Western Michigan, 5-4 loss to Western Michigan.
Right, with the great head coach.
But other than that, we've been pretty one-sided, and I think we got, 2 shutouts in a row here. 2 shutouts in a row despite our starting goalie, Elias, being away at the Deutschland Cup, is playing for Slovakia internationally. So we're giving him a chance to do that and playing a couple of our backups because we got a ton of goaltending.
Yes, Eric F says playing FHM and watching FHM at the same time.
Yeah.
Which I replied in the chat saying best way to do it.
And looks like, okay, we get left off with a couple of injuries. Doherty's out 2 to 3 weeks with a bruised kidney, so...
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Not great for him, but we've got a few guys waiting for a chance, and Wright is a 4.5-star prospect, so I'm going to throw him in for that. If I can find him. White, sorry, not Wright. And that should be good, and we got a few days to the next game. Brief FHM 10 updates. I'm sure everybody's wondering. Still working on the last couple of things to put in. It's fairly significant thing for custom games, and so I want to make sure we've got that either in or close enough that I know it's definitely going in before we really do any big announcements, but keeps getting closer. Yeah, looks like Elias won again, 5-2. How's that? That's odd, none of that's length. It should be. I'll have to get that fixed. And Slovakia looks like they finished second to Switzerland in that. So he got his first shot at international hockey for the senior team, even if it's a lower level tournament. So good for him. And he is back now, so swap him out.
That's big to have him back. How'd they do in the Dutch Cup?
They were second to Switzerland. Well, tied, but Switzerland looked like they went on the tiebreaker. And our goaltending for the last couple of seasons has been pretty ridiculous. Elias actually had a goals against average under 1 last year. So, which did us a lot of good once it got to the playoffs, because one bad game and you're out there, and he did have one bad game and it was over for us. But hopefully next season, or hopefully next playoffs, that's not going to happen again. Okay, Akason, one of our wingers, is back, so I will not have to play White. And Doherty still 1 to 2 weeks, and Kaplan, who was supposed to be our first-line center, but hasn't been super productive so far and has been hurt for the last little while. So he's actually getting pushed for that number 1 job. As you can see here, the guy who's supposed to be number 2, Ascot, actually has 17 points in his first 12 games. So he's making a pretty good case for himself. The second line's actually been playing really well. Flynn, who's was our big recruit last year, and I think second rounder by Detroit. Got to check. Yeah, second
That's
rounder by the Wings. He's our number 2 scorer right now, ahead of 2 of the guys on the first line. So we got scoring depth, got pretty good goaltending depth. The D is, we've had better groups of defensemen, although looks like a couple of our younger guys are stepping up now. Caden Aucoin, that's former NHLer Adrian Aucoin's son. Had a great first year, not quite on the same pace this year. Had 15 goals last year, only 1 so far this year. And Jarrett Ross, one of our assistant captains, are kind of at the top, and then it thins out quite a bit after that. So now that I think of that, actually, I'm going to pump up that first line, that first pair, Ross and Aucoin on the number 1 unit. Give them a few more minutes. And other than that, I think we can go. Is that, yeah, just bump a couple of the wingers up for this one game. And, yeah, close. 2-1 overtime win over Lindenwood. Looks like their goalie had a great game, 45 saves. So he kept them in that, and we just barely managed to win it in overtime.
Nice.
And okay, Kaplan is almost back. I don't think any of the rest is about our guys. Great, Duchesne got hurt, sore knee day to day, so he's, for the second game we're gonna have to put somebody else in. And yeah, you can see where we don't have the defensive depth here that we've had in other years. I'm gonna have to put a half-star guy in. I guess that's Rollison. Who's been sort of a spare part for each of the last 4 seasons. Never really made the starting lineup.
He's just there to have his education, Jeff.
Student athletes, yeah, of course. What else would he be there for?
Cheese.
Well, he's in the right place for it.
After all.
And 4-2 win in the second game in Ascot. The center has been playing pretty well so far. Comes up with 3 points. So I think I may leave him on the first line when, what's his name, the injured guy gets back, Kaplan. And probably Kaplan on the second and see if he can start scoring. And there we go, Lucas Kaplan primed to return. Oh, Marcus Janssen up to, this is an interesting guy. Swedish guy playing at Princeton. And I think he was a 6th rounder. Yeah, 6th rounder by the Kings 2 years ago. Hadn't really done anything in college the first couple of years, and now he's just gone nuts this year. Previous high in the college season was 7 assists. He's up to 20 already, and he's only played half the number of games he played last year. So that guy he seems to be having a big development surge, so he's going to probably wind up in the NHL, and that 6th round pick is going to pay off.
P-Wog says, go Wings. Thanks for coming, P-Wog. P-Wog, we started a little bit late to answer your question.
Yep,
because we had some technical difficulties we had to revalidate connecting to our accounts.
Basically,
I did it last week.
Yeah, no,
Jeff had to
do it this week.
So.
But speaking of the Wings, just looking at the way the NHL is right now, early in the season, and of course it changes as soon as I was going to say, Wings are 10-7-3. Jets are at 500. Oh wow, what's going wrong with the Canucks?
Are we talking real life or?
Oh, don't get me started on that. But Seelov's and Matt Murray in goal. Okay. Oh, tell me they didn't lose Hughes and he's not. Okay, no, he's just injured. That's why. Okay, so Hughes and Besser are injured. That's part of the problem. And they got, oh yeah, right, they forgot they got Connor Bedard in this game. They're still terrible. I don't even know. That's a little depressing. Win the Bedard lottery, and they're still no good. I don't know if you saw them. They traded Tanner Pearson yesterday to Montreal for Casey DeSmith. So I guess apparently they were worried about the backup goalie this year, and they're not really totally confident in Demko bouncing back.
Well, I think they said they kind of wanted somebody else to have another little bit more goaltending depth. They had to get rid of Pearson because they didn't have the cap room to keep him.
Yeah, we're apparently for this team that right now they're saying they think they'll make the playoffs if everything goes perfectly. So not too encouraging, and that's with a team that's only $300,000 under the cap.
Overkill of ASC says, why are the Canucks so stacked? Because when they lose consistently, they got high draft picks. And they actually make good picks in the game versus real life.
Yeah. That about sums it up. Gonna try one of the younger guys in for Rolison in this week's game.
You gotta love when Jeff just goes, yeah, that's about it. All right, sorry, Jeff, I gotta step away for a minute.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just, we got Kaplan back, so I think I'm going to move him back to the, put him on the second line, like I said, and juggle the lines a little bit. Am I going to have to, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to sit out Sheldrake, the fairly promising rookie that's only at 1 star right now. Oh, actually, Franzen was playing on the top line. Okay, so we're really going to wheel that around. Kaplan on the first line. And yeah, Ascot in the second. And oh, great. So Franzen wasn't producing it. What? 2 points in. Oh, did I do that because of the injury? Okay, yeah, that's why. He shouldn't normally be there. He goes on the fourth line. Orange got the third. All right, 38 people, I guess. Welcome aboard. Just playing some college hockey is Wisconsin and FHM. And off to a pretty good start, 13-1 for our, let's see, this is 2028. I think our 6th season of this game. Started this way back last fall, shortly after FHM 9 released. Yeah, okay, Edition is healthy. Is his fitness all the way up? No, still 80%. If it's not 100 by game time, I'll leave him out. So yeah, the last couple of years in this, we've done extremely well, been pretty dominant. You can see from the goal differential, we're plus 62 here. So winning most games fairly easily, although we've had 1 loss this season and a couple of scares. But the problem is playoffs in college hockey are one bad game and you're gone, and that's what's happened to us, even though we really should have won national championship by now.
I mean, you've had multiple tries.
Yep. Still third according to the poll.
Oh, you got rated, Jeff.
I did.
Yeah, so thank you to Sugi for rating. I believe he's a OTP streamer.
Yep, I saw him online. Just getting on this. Let's see. Yeah, Franzen can stay on the fourth line. And still 5 points up on top of the Big Ten. Fortunately, the college hockey isn't as change intensive in the conference as college football's been lately. So I didn't really have that much work to do to get it updated for this season. Oh wow, we're dominating the top college jersey sales. Ross is number 1, Sam Michel number 2. I think we got 3 guys in the top, or 6 guys in the top 10.
People are excited. Just getting ready for you to disappoint them.
Well, I could do that. So is Deschamps back at... He is back at 100. So Hobbs will not get his first game. And I'm just going to set the monthly budget first. I don't think we need to change anything. Team's happy with the middling morale spending, and attendance I think has been okay. So we'll just go straight to the game with Penn State. And 4-1 win. Akason, who's healthy again, gets a couple of goals in his first start. And that opens up a couple of points lead, a couple more points atop the Big Ten ahead of Michigan, who we actually had trouble against, if I remember correctly, when we played them earlier in the year. So maybe in for a tougher conference tournament than we had last year. I think we won that one pretty handily. No, San Luis up to a 13-game point streak now. Oh, that's not good. So this is a new thing we had for FHM 9 last year. We added some behind-the-scenes interactions between the players, and looks like we've got a quick forming. Seems to be the younger guys. Duguay, freshman. Markham, another freshman who hasn't played yet. Oh, Kaplan again. Okay. And before, one of the seldom used veterans. Kaplan, he did the same thing the first season he was here, and it just killed his development for a couple of years. And he's been recovering from that. It looks like he bounced back last year, but now he's back doing this again. Athletic director is satisfied. Okay, we're fine there. But let's see what's gone wrong here. Okay, Duguay is upset with Rollis and Deschamps. And the clique is sort of formed separately about that. I'm going to see if I can get rid of the conflicts first by having the captain intervene and take the easy one first. Yep, okay, that's better. And next month we'll try and start whittling down the clique, because we don't want those. Basically, if there's one formed and you get other morale-affecting issues, it can sort of snowball and make the situation a lot worse. Start to back up Cam in game 2. And another easy win, 8-0 shutout. Part of the reason we're dominating so much is we started this with a really like a fairly early version of FHM 9 after the release, and the American player base the game wasn't generating enough players for the US at that point. So I made a bunch of internal database changes, and you'll get a very different experience if you play it now. Although I made some more improvements for FHM 10 as well. But a lot of the teams are having recruiting trouble at the moment. You look through the rosters and there's a lot of one-star guys. We're not having quite as many because we've gotten since we're the number one team in the country, or at least close to it most seasons. We tend to get a very high priority for recruiting, so we're not having trouble filling our rosters, but a lot of the other teams are. Okay, Doherty's back. And I think that makes us completely healthy. It does. So mid-season, 15-1 start. Michigan's still hanging on 5 points behind us, although we've got a couple of games in hand there. So they're not going to let us run away with it, at least. But I think we are going to wind up on top of the Big Ten this year. Bentley's still 16-1. And I didn't check it to see if RPI is still undefeated. Oh, and Ohio State apparently having a real off-season, 2-14. Yep, RPI is 8-0. But we got Michigan State up next. I'm a little curious as to, they were a good team last year. Yeah, questionable goaltending. Okay, pretty good forward depth. And yeah, mostly older players. It's another thing I did a little bit of work on through the year. Shouldn't be quite as many old guys in a game that you start now, or in college at least. Okay, Michigan State.
You say that, just not. I saw that there was some football player in Florida has put in an appeal. I don't know if he's decided or not if he's going to try and play next year, but he's put in his appeal already to continue to play his 9th season of NCAA football.
Jeez.
So he's been playing since 2016.
How does he keep? I mean, you can redshirt once. You can have injuries.
I don't know. I didn't read that. I didn't read past that.
That's, I don't know how you get up to 9 years in the same.
There was some kicker I saw too. Just
and that was a blowout win. So I'm going to start to back up against Michigan State for the second game. Just another easy win, 9-0. Ross has 4 points. Kicker.
35 years old, I think. NCAA kicker.
I mean, technically, if I went to a NCAA school and to get, if I decided to go back and get my PhD or something, I've still got eligibility. I mean, I didn't use any of it in the first place, but.
Well, they said this guy went, I think it was was it 2011? Went on as a walk-on and got cut. Ended up joining the Army, was in the Army for 9 years. Got out, decided to go to business school. Got back in, got cut again, and then made the team the next year or something like that. So he's 35 years old as a kicker.
Yeah, good for him. Stuck with it at least. Wouldn't really count on any NFL future, though. I'm guessing it's not a major school.
No, it was cool. You were like, okay, yeah.
Like Division One.
Oh yeah, it was definitely Division One. I'm trying to remember if it was Colorado State or not. I don't think it was. I think it was somebody on the East Coast.
And shaping up a pretty good scoring race. San Luis a couple of 3 points out of the lead. Yermakov from Bentley and Grzinski from Michigan. So 2 teams we're going to have to get by in the playoffs. Or above him, and now looks like Graham from North Dakota is up there too, and he's got another guy from North Dakota right behind him. And any comments on the Babcock situation, Adam?
I was going to ask you if you got that updated already yet.
Yeah, I actually just took him out and made Vincent the head coach tonight and cranked his ratings down. I dumped his survivability rating because how could you be so dumb? It's just like no sense of self-preservation whatsoever.
Okay, hold on here. 34 years old, University of Virginia. That's where that 34-year-old college kicker is. Yeah. My thoughts on Babcock. Was it dumb? Yes. Is it? Again, I honestly haven't followed the whole thing, so I'm going to be very clear on that. I haven't really looked into it too much.
Yeah,
I don't really care too much about it.
Looks like RPI lost a game, and somehow we got out of Bentley, so we're number 1 in the country again. And we got two guys, American player, and two guys on the American team in the World Juniors, Flynn and McCoy. So we're
Okay.
going to minus a couple of guys. But go ahead. What were you going to say? You hadn't really
Well,
followed it.
like, no, really followed it. The first thing that came in was it talked about how, like, some of they said it wasn't really the veteran players
Yeah,
who
they
were
said it was the
bothered by
younger
it.
guys that
It
had
was
the
the younger
problem.
guys. Yeah. And that I completely understand. Like, if you're 18, 19 years old, holding over your phone or handing over your phone or having it put on a screen would definitely probably make you nervous for those guys who haven't probably ever done anything like that before and make them uncomfortable. Yeah, I can totally understand. Yeah. I
And
can
and with those two guys out, by the way, we lose our second game of the season, 6-3 to Ferris
mm,
State, and that's the first time we've lost. And we did outshoot them by quite a bit, so that's a bad game in goal. But still, that's one of the worst results we've had in quite a while. And we got Dartmouth tomorrow. Sorry.
let me be clear. No, let me be clear. I do not think Babcock deserved another shot. I think this was a very dumb thing for him to do, even though he probably wasn't doing it quite as intentionally as some people are making it out to be. Like, I don't think he thought this was going to be a big deal, especially when when you look at it from like team captain, everybody else not thinking it was going to be a big deal. But I completely understand why it was, and still don't think it should have been something he should have done. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, and
And I
bounced
don't
back
sound
with a
like a crazy
4-1 win
person.
over Dartmouth. But that's going to cost us our
Yep.
number one spot in the country, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I think, I can't see
It's a
anybody
messy
taking another
situation.
chance on Babcock again. I think we'll see where
Now,
he winds up.
there was an interesting article on The Athletic talked about how it's not just him, but you got to wonder, like, well, first off, you got to think that John Davidson and Yarmo are on shaky ground now too.
Yep, I mean,
If they
it
weren't
is nice to
before,
see another team being run as badly as the Canucks are. That's sort of
but more
encouraging.
than that, like, it's you got to wonder what's going on with you got to think that affects guys like Joel Quinville and Stan Bowman who kind of want to make their way back because you
Yeah,
look how badly this got screwed up. Why would you risk guys who had even more high profile exits?
yep. What you're saying is Babcock screwed it up for everybody. And Flynn gets an assist in the 2-0
We say
U.S. win
that
over Sweden.
but then look what happened in the WHL last week too. So,
Yeah,
and I don't agree with that
no.
at all. So
Any of our guys making the player poll results? Doesn't look like it.
this
Very few
winter,
Big
can you
Ten
do a
smartest
one-shot
player.
Sims CCHA? You just want us to sim the entire season, PWOG? Is that what you're asking?
Or play as a CCHA team.
No, but you just want us to run.
Should mention if you're looking at the one of our chats, we got 3 different streams going at the moment. The Out of the Park development stream, our FHM stream, both on Twitch, and the Steam stream on Steam as well. So you're seeing us
Have
answering
5 times
somebody in a
fast.
different chat. That's why you can't see them. We're
I'm
looking
not
3 different
crazy
places.
most of the time.
Well, you're not crazy
So,
for that reason.
are you asking us to do a CCHA stream? Is that what you think he's trying to ask? I think maybe that's what he's trying to ask. Yes. Okay. Jeff and I have been kicking around some ideas, and I think we talked about this last stream.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing a historical one for FHM 10. There's kind of a fairly big project that we want to try doing with that. So it'll be up to Adam see what we wind up doing there. Maybe move around from go through different stuff next year instead of just sticking with one. Maybe you get fired right
I
away.
mean, we did some of that at the beginning of this year when we took on some historical challenges.
Yeah.
And then the first couple worked, and then we got absolutely destroyed on our St. Louis one.
Okay, verbal commitments draft. If you haven't seen this before, this is how we player handle recruitment in the game. It's sort of a draft-like situation, only instead of drafting players, you nominate a player, then every other team that's interested in that player can also put a claim in on them, and then the player decides between the group of you. Team nominating gets a little bit of an advantage, but the player is also interested in things like how good your program is, what academic standards there are, whether, how much competition there is from a job, whether it's close to him or not. So you may not necessarily get who you want, but I think we are, as usual, going first overall. So let's do the standard check. For players from Wisconsin, we got any good prospects? A little better than we usually do, but still. Oh. Okay, 6'4", 6'3", and they're only 15. Okay, maybe after a round or two, go after those guys. But that's a better crop from Wisconsin than we've seen, I think, so far in this game.
Let's see. State.
Say again?
P-Wog just saying, he says, take over Lake Superior State.
Okay, so this is only the committee. This is only for verbal commitment. So these guys are still. They won't be here with us next season. The earliest they'll be with us is 2 years from now. So even though some of these guys are 17, I may be a little more inclined to draft somebody. 6'5" and 199, 15. And I did fix something in with the scouting in 10. You shouldn't see as many players not getting scouted in the college game, although we do have one guy scouted fully here. Looks like he's more of a two-way defenseman. I don't know if that's what we want to go for here. There's an interesting guy, Chavez. California, playing for the National Development Team. You got any significant problems on the scouting? Ooh. He's kind of injury prone. And he's got some controversious issues as well. So yeah, maybe not him. You're going to go for another one of these 15-year-olds, but which one? And also a little injury prone. Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he's not fully scouted. I'm going to take a chance on him, though. Ketteridge. Looks like a pretty well-rounded defenseman. And so I'm just nominating him here, and the other teams will get a chance to compete for him. Do we get him? And yes, he's verbally committed to us. So he's going to have a much better chance of signing with us. And looks like if he's only 15 now, it'll be a couple of years. And we could go through and compete for other players in the first round, but I'm just going to let it turn that off, and we won't compete for any other team's players since they're already thin enough.
Oh, right. That's what I was thinking about.
Picks. What?
No, I was thinking, I had an idea for a stream a few days ago, and I was trying to remember what it was, but it just finally came to me. What it was. I'm debating whether I should reveal it right now or not.
Okay, we got still 2 5-star guys and a 5-star goalie, but don't seem to have any trouble recruiting goalies. I'm going to go for Murray, the other defenseman, because we have been a little thinner on D, and we got him as well. And now I'm going to check for Wisconsin guys in the round after this one. And hopefully those guys are still around. Oh, one of them is Clapham. So We're going
Okay,
to go for the goalie, and I think that's the first sort of high-profile pick we've got out of Wisconsin.
I like it. Jeff, I'm going to read this exactly the way PWOG wrote it. This would be in our Franchise Hockey Manager
Yep.
page on Twitch. And I'm going to read it exactly how he wrote it. Do you too listen to pro, minor, or college hockey radio, or mostly watch?
Not college or pro, but junior. I mean, the local radio station here has all Kelowna Rockets games on. So whenever I'm in the car on a game night, I'm listening to that. What do you get radio
PWOG
for, Adam? MJHL games or?
locally MJHL, but okay, honestly, if I'm gonna watch hockey, I'm gonna watch hockey on TV. Typically I like just
as
watching.
opposed to watching hockey on radio.
No. As opposed to watching it live.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend most of my time following the Winnipeg Jets because that's my local team, and I watch all 82 of their games as much as it pains me sometimes. I tune in and watch all unless they're playing.
So you don't watch the exhibition games? You're not a hardcore fan?
I watch them some, but not a huge amount.
Well, preseason inter-squad games. Don't even look at those, I bet.
Could not care. If I lived closer to the rink, I would consider going more. Same with the Moose. I kind of follow them, but I don't really watch or listen to unless there's kind of nothing else on, partly because the AHL's video stuff is kind of a pain. Locally, I will go check out some stuff from time to time, go see how some teams are doing. And when the WHL team was in Winnipeg, now that they're gone, that'll be a little bit farther to go to see Brandon. But I don't mind going doing that a couple times a year. Or watch, as we talked about, junior hockey for some stuff. But radio, if I don't have another option, I will listen to it if I'm on the road. If I'm not, I mean, most of the time when I'm driving, I have satellite radio like most people. Not most people, that's not fair. I have satellite radio like a lot of people.
Don't they?
Well, yeah, but not everybody's paying for it. So if you hopped in my car, most of the time the first thing you'd hear would be the NHL network. If they're talking about something I don't care about, like the Maple Leafs, then it's going to be on the NFL network. And I go back and forth on those two things. So that's where I get lots of my information from. Which probably isn't the most exciting for some people, but I enjoy that, just like I think, lots of other people do too.
Okay, so we're done with the verbal commitments list. We got our Wisconsin guy, although he's only showing 2 potential now. That's not good news. And some higher ratings elsewhere, but I kind of focused on defensemen early and got a few forwards later on. I took a couple of older guys that probably won't be they'll probably be in their mid-20s by the time they get to us. No, a little later. No, because I can actually sign them next season. The 19-year-olds. Yeah, that's right. So they wouldn't be that old. Not necessarily. They'll finish their career in the mid-20s, but not started. Monthly budget's still fine. Still building up a little bit of money. They don't really have a lot of money to... There's no point in building a new arena for them. Yet, at least. And waiting to see how far we dropped in the... when we get the poll message. Yeah, Elias, 1.37 goals against average, and that's up, about 45 points from last year?
Right.
And San Luis still contending for the scoring lead. He's got to be a Hobie Baker nominee this year. I think he didn't get a nomination last year, did he?
I don't believe he did.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed there. He should have had one. College hockey poll. No, what? I expect to go a little down a little farther than that, but yeah, not third. So Bentley takes over number 1, and RPI, defending champions, are number 2. But there's, nobody else has only 2 losses, so didn't fall as far as we might have. and 6 points up on Michigan now in the Big Ten. So we're going to hang on to that top seed in the conference tournament. The way the playoffs work, there's a separate there's a conference tournament first, and the winners of that are guaranteed to move into the national tournament, and then it's a bid process for everybody else. I think, if I remember it right. But I mean, we're getting in one way or another because we're going to be near the top. And USA beats Finland, and Brendan Flynn has a couple of goals. Oh, only a 5-4 win. Let's see what's going on in the World Juniors.
Cuba Show says Bentley, the top team in the country. Normal stuff.
Canada lost to somebody. And the U.S. lost, well, Czech Republic and Sweden in the top 2 spots. And Russia, who is back in the tournament at this point, seems to be doing pretty well as well. I haven't really looked. I got to take a look at Bentley and see why they're doing so well. Goaltending, okay, slightly better than what we saw with RPI. Okay, depth on D, but no right defenseman for some reason. That's kind of odd. And okay-ish forward depth. Who's doing the scoring for him? Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, Yermakov. Russian, who's getting 2 points a game. He must be drafted. Oh wow, he's undrafted. She committed to Michigan Tech and then wound up going to Bentley instead.
Okay, I don't even... Where is Bentley?
Oh, you didn't know that? You just look on the data screen. Waltham, Massachusetts.
So I know it's in Massachusetts, but that doesn't help me otherwise.
I'd assume it's Boston-ish area. Okay, Ohio State. Oh wait, I'll leave the game. I think I had some injuries to. Oh no, Atkinson wasn't back all the way. Flynn is still hurt. Oh, Flynn got hurt in the World Juniors, I guess. He's out of the tournament. I could theoretically play him, but I won't.
Kim is Jones says outskirts of Boston.
Yeah.
I guess I said that wrong. Let me try again. Outskirts of Boston.
And 9-0 win. San Luis has 5 points, so we're back on track, I think. Now, Boston's got like 3 million colleges in the general vicinity.
Oh, you know, Jeff, we're talking about important news. What do you think about Boston's big news?
Captain Brad Marchand. Well, I mean, who else were they going to give it to?
Pasta.
I guess so, but I'm sure the refs are happy that they're going to be dealing with him all season.
You said, who else could they have given it to? Or McAvoy, I guess, too. But
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I like the choice of Marchand. Other than you're probably looking at him being captain at most for, what, 4 years? Maybe.
Now, if he retires as fast as the other guys did, sooner. And putting Cam in for the second game. As Cam's probably going to be the starter next year and try and see if they can squeeze a little extra development out of him this year. And a 4-0 shutout win over Ohio State. So 13-0 in 2 games. Not that surprising when we're 21-2 and they're 2-20. Wouldn't like to see a
ESPN
line in
Plus
those
for
games.
Bentley.
What was that?
P-Wog says ESPN Plus for Bentley.
Yeah, I'd assume you could get them on that. I don't know how many nationally televised games they get. And San Luis with that big game, and I think Yermakov and Grzinski Grzinski, oh no, they're too old for it. They just haven't been scoring. They weren't in the World Juniors. Speaking of, what's going on in the World Juniors? Okay, into the playoffs. Oh, that's surprising. Okay, yeah, okay, Sweden beats Switzerland. That's fine. USA knocks off Canada, so Canada isn't even going to medal this year. Sweden and USA one game, but the Danes knocked off the Czechs 4-3 in the first round, and they're playing the Russians in round 2. So Denmark may wind up getting a medal, while Canada doesn't. Check that in a couple of days. See what went down there. That's odd. Ilias isn't in the top 10 in wins, but Cam is. Well, Ilias has lost a couple of games to us, and then he was away for the tournament for a little while. That's probably why he's sitting slightly back, so I could probably be using him a little bit more. Then again, I don't want to get him hurt down the stretch. And Bentley continuing to win, 19-1 now. Oh, looks like the Americans won the World Juniors from going by the headlines. Let's just check to be sure. Yeah. Okay, so Russia beats Denmark fairly easily, 5-2. U.S. gets by Sweden 4-2. And then the USA 3-0 win over Russia in the final. And Sweden gets the bronze. How's the World Juniors been going lately? Okay, there's a canceled one since the start of the game. That's actually the 4th U.S. gold medal since the start of the game. So they actually are producing pretty good quality. I'm surprised colleges thinned out so much. Although I think one of the problems is it's not the very top of the talent pool is okay, but there's sort of the lower stages were balanced strong. So that's one of the changes I made about 3 weeks ago. So just looking at FHM10 now to see if we can get that, if the college rosters are a little better rounded now. But yeah, Canada's done not great in this game. A single World Juniors gold. Russia doesn't have any. US has 4, and Czechs have 1. And Yermakov's country loses in the World Juniors, and his assist streak gets shut down. Okay, Flynn is healthy again. That's good. And we should have a coin back. So I'm going to redo the lines because I think they got shuffled around a little bit there. Who do I take out for Flynn? Is that Sheldrake? Oh, White was out. Or do I leave White in? Franzen hasn't done much. Who do I get at center if I do this? Wait, did I not? Oh, I didn't dress enough, guys. 4, 5, 8. I'm missing Akison because he was hurt. That's right. Pumped up that first pair's minutes again, and it puts White in the center. So let's see, leave him there, see maybe he converts. And we'll try Kaplan on the first line again for a while, see if he finally gets it together. I'll take a look at our team scoring in a second. And we got an 8-point lead now atop the conference.
All right.
We got a Stallone in the goalie rankings.
Sylvester?
Starts with an A. Maybe he's related.
Hold on a second, I gotta check.
What are you checking?
I was checking this. I thought he had an A in his name, but I was wrong.
How would
Michael
Sylvester Stallone have an A
Gardino.
in his name?
What? Like I thought his real first name was started with an A.
And we're into second now because I think, yeah, looks like RPI lost one. But this guy's name is Alan. Alan Stallone. Actually a pretty good goalie. Freshman, too. And game against Notre Dame. Should be able to win that. 6-1 win, no problem. Ross gets a couple of points. And now a 10-point lead with no games in hand to top the Big Ten. And Owen Simmons out for 6 months. Is he? Harvard. Oh, massive eye trauma. That's not good. Pretty good defenseman. I think he's a senior. So yeah, he's a senior. Oh, he's the Harvard captain. And that'll be the end of him for junior hockey.
T-Mac 1909 in the chat. I missed this. Says, I love seeing Ohio State in last place with 21 losses.
Somebody's a Michigan fan. And 3-0 or Penn State fan. 3-0 win by Wisconsin. So swept the series with Notre Dame. And Notre Dame kind of in the, well, they're 10-15, so they're not doing that well either. Basically, us, Michigan, and Minnesota are the only decent teams in the Big Ten this year. Yeah, one of the things you learn when I went down to, was doing grad school in the States is just how much other schools hate Ohio State.
You mean the Ohio State?
Sorry,
Jeff?
the Ohio State. How dare I?
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio State University.
It's weird to me that they call all their universities college.
Not all of them. Boston University.
No, I know, but if you ask somebody where they're like, if they went to college, oh, you got to go to college. You ask somebody where they go to university, and they look at you like you're insane.
And still number 2 in the country.
It's like, but it's in part of your name. How's my local Northern Michigan doing? Kim is chillin' says.
Northern Michigan, yeah, not bad. 4th in the CCHA, 13-11-2. Oh, jeez. I think people was asking about Lake Superior. 3-22-1. Ouch.
Oof, oof,
Just slightly better than Ohio State. And does RPI actually how's a couple of the Alaska teams are doing well as independents. RPI, yeah, 3 games behind everybody, but they're 18-2. Yale having a good year.
Beerzall says, well, yeah, obvious, obnoxious fan base, history of cheating, and the beneficiary of one of the worst calls in college football history.
And 7-2 win over Ohio State there for us. Sam Lee gets a hat trick, so that should help him in the scoring race. 4 points up off of Grzinski from Michigan. And Yermakov, the Russian, is dropping down. Only at 6 now. He was leading for a while. Oh, looks like Ohio State didn't manage to beat somebody in there. They're up to 3 wins now. And throw the backup in against him for game 2. 9-0 win. Åkesson, 5-point game. Åkesson is the guy that was seemed to be stuck at half a star for quite a while. But then once he finally got his first star, he really took off after that, and I think he's at 3.5 now. He's got one more year left. 3.5. And I'm running a little low on time, but we started late, so I'm going to go for a couple more minutes.
That's fine. Just Ohio State to me, and again, go to football for a second. I kind of laugh, and Jeff, I don't know how much you're following football, but today the Bears quarterback Justin Fields came out and tossed his offensive coordinator under the bus, saying he was calling terrible plays, and then came back and was like, "Whoa, I didn't mean that. I mean, I could be playing better too." But
And
the
we're
one
number
thing I
one in
know
the
about
country again, by the way.
one thing I know about the NFL is you should never trust an Ohio State quarterback in the NFL. Because you know who's been the most successful Ohio State quarterback in the NFL?
Art Schlichter.
Probably.
Oh God! Imagine if he was in the league now with a team in Vegas. That would not have been good.
Yeah, I mean, other names. Let's see here. Okay, Terrell Pryor, who was okay but got converted to a wide receiver. You had JT Barrett, who was going to be a Saskatchewan Roughrider or Edmonton Elks QB, but then retired rather than come.
And we got both offensive and defensive player of the month. San Luis gets offensive player of the month, and Elias gets defensive.
Yeah, trying to think. What was the name of the big guy who ended up in Buffalo? Cardale Jones.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
Bump the morale budget up a little bit more. So we got some money to spend.
Dwayne Haskins. Okay, he might have been able to do it if he didn't have a tragic death.
Yeah, that'll slow you down a little.
But otherwise, okay.
Oh, and that's good because I forgot to go back into the Team Harmony screen and break up the click myself, so it did that on its own, and I'm going to try to get rid of this last conflict between Duguay and Rollison, and that worked. So we're back to 100%
Okay.
Team Harmony now.
Just to argue with Beers, Haskins wasn't out of the league. He was in, I believe it was Pittsburgh, and they figured he was actually going to be fighting for at least a backup job. They were happy with the way how he was turning things around. So I don't know if I'd say he was out of the league. Tragic death, regardless.
A1 went over Ed State and Connor Doherty with 4 points from the last game, but I mean, it probably didn't help that I went to grad school with a bunch of people who had gone to undergrad in places like Michigan and Notre Dame, and it wasn't exactly the most Ohio State friendly group, but yeah, people really do not seem to like them. And I think this will close out the season for us against Penn State. At least we're not going to see them again before the tournament. 6-3 win. How many games we got left here? We got Michigan State and Minnesota. So 2 series left. I think we got Michigan State, Minnesota, and then closing the season out against Michigan, who I don't think is going to catch us because we're 12 points up at this point. So I think that would be a good point to leave off because that'll let us get in those last few games of the season next time. And next time, yeah,
Set up for disappointment.
Yeah, and I think that'll probably wind up being our last stream of this game. So we're getting very close to the point where we're going to have to debut FHM 10. And that will cut things off here. But if you want to wrap it up there, Adam?
Sure. Pewog asks, are the Alaskan team still playing, just before we do that?
Yep. Their schedule, I think, was bugged in the early version of the game and ran a little longer. So we've always got to wait for them to finish playing the season.
All right. So with that, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Franchise Hockey Manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP Developments, and every other week on our Steam page. You can find all of our streams archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, with our streams or archives going live on Sundays at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, mostly for our European viewers. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. You can also find a link to our official Discord channel in our Twitter bio. And, of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to our official forums where you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of Park Baseball, Perfect Team Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff, did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered pretty much everything. Just taking a quick last look at the scoring. St. Louis has been a huge chunk of our offense. He's averaging 2 points a game this season. Hasn't missed any games. And he's got 18 points ahead of actually Ascot, too. Has been going back and forth between first and second lines, but he's the number 2 scorer. And he's up to 3.5 stars. I think he was only showing 3-star potential initially, so he's gone a little bit beyond what he was expected to. I don't think he got drafted, did he? Oh no, Leafs 6th rounder. And Flynn having another solid year. Big improvement over his freshman year, which wasn't that bad. Sam Michel, a captain. Doherty, D isn't scoring quite as much this year as it did last year. Coyne is quite a bit back. Still pretty solid though. Has anybody managed to win? Nobody's minus. And, wow, some crazy plus-minus numbers. Ross is plus 60 in 29 games. And average game rating. That's rare to see 1/80 like that for San Luis. All in all, we're in pretty good shape, and we're going to have to try really hard to choke in the national tournament, but I'm sure we'll find a way. So Thanks for coming out, everybody, and we will be back a week from now with Adam's Columbus Blue Jackets game. Now that we've finished insulting the city of Columbus via Ohio State, we'll go play as a local NHL team. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you a week from now.